Oh, yes. I wanted to mention, yes. It wasn't a sheriff that served me in the Squim Public Library, was it, Bill Benedict? Who was the individual that actually served me that you decided had a right to my personal information? Yes. And that you, as the county sheriff's department, does not have to support and defend the rights of American citizens. Now, when I say civil rights, yeah, it's kind of a nice way of mentioning the 13th and 14th Amendment pooch. But if you were there during the Confederacy, yes, and during the Civil War, yes, a lot of individuals actually did die during that. And of course, President Abraham Lincoln died. But for some reason, the Department of Defense at that time decided to have their own military commission, yes, to try the accused for conspiring, yes, to destroy the government of the United States of America. Now, the only difference is I'm not the president, isn't that right? All you need is for me to die for the military to have the right to be involved in the county. Is that what needs to happen? See, as I understand it, you decided to try me for the crime of not being in Sequim, Washington. Yes. Yesterday I explained how you get rid of somebody. You don't sign the warrant for arrest. Oh. You don't admit the evidence that they weren't in that city. You completely deny that the individual has communicated the crime, yes, of violating the 13th and 14th Amendment. You don't admit foreign protection order jurisdictions. Yes. And then you make up crimes because you are going to make absolutely sure that your way of government is going to be successful. Now, let's say you're in the army. You have no strength. You're not army strong. It's not the muscles. It's not the tanks. It's the actual Constitution. Isn't that what they defend? When you enlisted, yes. The enlistment oath. See, they make those soldiers, yeah. They make them swear that they will support and defend, or is it defend the Constitution of the United States? I can get a copy of the enlistment oath. Now, for every atheist, yes, that does not say, so help me God. I have actually done some research on this enlistment oath of the United States Army. Yes. See, when you don't protect the actual reasonable notice and an opportunity to be heard, yes, and then you continue to deprive Americans of those 13th Amendment and 14th Amendment rights. And then you say that I'm crazy, right, for not knowing where I was at on June 16th of 2017, not knowing who I've emailed. And then you have my public defender call me and say, we're going to have a cell hearing. Ouch, ouch. And then you lie, Brent Basden. The respondent did not have actual notice. Oh, the respondent doesn't represent a credible threat because I was never arrested. Yes, I had no arrest history. There was no docketed court case on Guam. I had no evaluations because those had been sealed. You cannot say I was a credible threat without somehow being arrested. Now, I was not an intimate partner. Judge Rohr had issued a dissolution of marriage, yes, where I did not receive actual notice of hearings. I did not get an actual copy of the dissolution of marriage. You can't say I was a credible threat without somebody documenting, yes, that I had committed or allegedly committed domestic violence or child abuse. You can't say that I received actual notice when page one says I did not receive actual notice. And you can't say I was an intimate partner because you, as a judiciary right now, had issued a divorce where we hadn't had sex for 4.5 years. So let's see. I'm thinking this trial of the conspirators. You've removed the strength of the United States Army. Now you can say I can complain and yell my head off all I want. But let's say it's Governor Jay Inslee and his executive branch of the state of Washington, yes, that just does not know because you don't docket court hearings so that nobody knows what you're doing because what you're doing is more important than the strength of the nation. Oh. Now, let's look at this. Oh, this is not the creation of a fraudulent mental health directive. Yes, Mr. Budden appeared to have adequate understanding of the information given to him and agreed to continue the interview, although he believed that I needed to report child abuse of his 5 sons due to the court order that prevented him from having contact with them. Now, what court order is that? The court order that has forgeries on it? The court order that the petitioner did not acknowledge? The court order where I was not given actual notice of court hearings? Yeah. The court order where there was no credible threat because there was no actual arrest record. I believed, that I needed to have the individual from the Western State Hospital that told me that if I give her any information about child abuse or elder abuse, she was legally obligated to inform the authorities. There was no credible threat, no arrest record, no court record from Guam, no evaluations from the evaluators on Guam. There was nothing that could have made you think that what you were doing was protecting the Constitution of the United States. Now, we had a screening of Western State Hospital records, which included previous Community Forensic Evaluation Service of the CFES, yes, dated 10/6 of 2016. Oh. Now, exactly how is it that I don't understand that there was a civil war, and that some individuals died in fighting that war, and then those conspirators that decided that they would just kill off the government were tried by a military commission, for conspiring to destroy the government of the United States? Sheriff. I can't be a credible threat without their being reported to law enforcement. Yes. That there was a belief that Paul had committed domestic violence or child abuse. After July 12th of 2012, I was no credible threat. Oh. Now, we were not intimate partners since approximately June of 2011. Yeah. Now, I'm just asking, okay? You seem to think that the appointing of Commissioner Brent Baisden to be a Superior Court judge, yes, was in the, well, it's not just the state, because we had this problem during the Civil War, yes. Let's say we were to look at the Constitution and those that said the Fifth Amendment didn't apply to the southern states, yes. Or at least it didn't apply to those that were slaves, yeah. And since you were the property of the individuals that had purchased you, yes, you had no rights. You had no fucking rights right now. Now, I'm going to tell the United States Army they have no strength. Because I've just documented that I informed somebody that informed me, yes, that she has a legal obligation right the fuck now. Now, the United States Army has no strength. Early childhood. Paul Budnick was born in Auburn, Washington, on 7/13/70 to married parents who divorced 8 years later. After the divorce, he primarily resided with his mother, but saw his father on occasional weekends and in the summer. Yeah. He had one full biological sister and two stepsisters. Yeah. Now, I have denied a mental illness, a history of mental illness. And, well, what did you think the Civil War was about? Oh, slaves have no rights. States don't support and defend the constitutional rights of the Fifth Amendment. And that you, Sheriff, are a co-conspirator in wanting to destroy the United States of America. Are you sure the military isn't involved?